daughter. She's 7 years old. She was gonna
Call this meeting to order. We have a quorum.
yeah.
And I'd love to have a motion to approve the minutes of February 27th.
So moved.
Representative Torkelson moves the minutes of February 27th. All in favor of that signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Now, next we have House File 232 before this committee to be laid over for possible inclusion in the Legacy Omnibus Bill. And Representative Dittmer, I believe that's your bill.
That's correct, Mr. Chair and committee members. And we do have some testifiers here. If Mr. Tisdall and Mrs. Allness would come up, grab another chair.
I see we have 19 bills, so it has a much better chance if you make it very short.
Very short. Okay. With that, Mr. Chair, I would just like to say the Disabled Veterans Rest Camp and in my district is on Big Marine Lake. We've done some work with them before in the past with the legislature. And also, today we also have the Legionville up in Brainerd that is coming before us. So what I'll do with that respect, I'll just turn it over to my testifiers.
Welcome to our committee. Give your name for the record, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lori Allness. I'm on the board of directors for the Disabled Veterans Rest Camp Association. We're the administrator of Veterans Campground on Big Marine Lake. I want to say that the American Legion and Veterans Campground have recently partnered together to ask for this joint grant because Veterans Campground in 5 years alone has gone from serving 3,500 veterans and their families to over 14,000 last year.
Wow.
Unbelievable. We have a whole new generation of veterans, and we need another location that is willing to step forward and take care of some of the demands that or programs that veterans are looking for. We're asking for $500,000. I'm going to give you a fast breakdown. For Legionville, they're asking $222,000 to renovate completely their kitchen. This is for safety standards, definitely. If we're going to start having more veterans go to that location. For Veterans Campground, we're asking for $278,000 for a new camp office and interpretive center. Right now, the camp office is a little shack, and it is so set back that people can come into the camp and veer off to 3 different roads and have access to the camp without even checking in. And again, that is a safety issue. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Randy Tisdall. I'm the state adjutant and senior administrator for Minnesota's American Legions. You all, I am certain, have seen an American Legion and passed by one and probably have one in your community. They provide all kinds of different programs for youth, as well as our veterans returning from war, as well as veterans that serve right here in the U.S. during times of war. But we're here to talk about Legionville, and Legionville is a facility that's been around since the 30s. The idea came about in the 20s, and it was all about how does the American Legion partner with our State Highway Patrol and AAA to help teach young kids. At that time, in the early 30s, we're using as road cross guards. So it's primarily an educational facility for our children and youth in relation to road cross safety. However, we're expanding. As time goes on and things change as they do, in a society that we're in now, more school districts utilize adults for road cross safety. So if we're going to continue to be vibrant and useful, as we always strive to be in the American Legion for children and youth as well as our veterans, we have to make changes. And we recently put up a brand new training and education facility there. It took a lot of out of our 545 posts from all across the state to scrape nickels together, have bake sales and garage sales, and raise the money to make that happen. But as a grassroots organization, they did. But it's also time to upgrade the dining facility there that's there for those children. The services that we provide at Legionville are being expanded. In recent years, we've added, in addition to road cross safety training to those kids, we've added canoe safety, orienteering. We've also opened the camp to the Civil Air Patrol. We have a large weekend in the fall where veterans come from all over the state of Minnesota and enjoy a weekend there. We're recently looking at moving from 8 weeks, maybe to 4 weeks, because the numbers per week of the children attending those sessions is getting smaller. So we can open up the second half of the summer to other veteran-related activities. We work along with Camp Ripley as well as others to provide outdoor opportunities at that camp. And to close, I'd like to just steal a line that both of these projects certainly relate to Minnesota's cultural, historical, and recreational activities. With that, I thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and your board for hearing our testimony.
Thank you. Mr. Tesdall, there was a guy in the American Legion in Fairmont, Minnesota, named Lauren Tesdall. You ever hear of him?
I have not, sir, but there are a lot of relations, probably a shirt-tail relation one way or another. We all originated out of Norway, of course, so Tesdall.
Okay. Very well. Next.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, very briefly, I'm Colonel Eric Olness, retired. I served 28 years in the National Guard in the Army, and with 2 deployments. One as a commander in Afghanistan, and represent the VFW for the Disabled Veterans Rest Camp. Just 3 things very briefly. First of all, there are no active duty bases in Minnesota, so when people return from war, when this current era of veterans come back from war, there's no place they can centralize and come back to really reintegrate on their own. And both these camps provide outstanding places for veterans to come back together. Second point is adolescents. They face special challenges when separated from their parents when they deploy. And these camps provide an opportunity where kids can come back with their families, or kids can get meaningful training that connect them with the community and with citizenship to help give them the greatest chance to be successful in the future. And then finally, there's an intergenerational nature of what we do. I'm a diversity manager at Cargill, and I see firsthand the advantages when you have one generation helping the next. And when we have World War II era veterans, a few of them left, but Korea and Vietnam era veterans helping the current era get all the way home, that's very meaningful and powerful. So just in closing, this is a timely and appropriate partnership between the 2 camps, one right next to the metropolitan area, the other right in the middle of Minnesota, that provides centralized places for veterans to come home, make it all the way home, and heal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions from members? Seeing none, you have any closing statements?
Well, just one thing, Mr. Chair. It's an honor for me to carry this legislation for these 2 organizations, because I've seen what they've done in the past and what they want to do in the future. And as a veteran myself and 2 sons that are veterans, I really hope that this can be supported through your committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I like the color of Mr. Tesdall's hat, only it's just shaped a little differently than I'm used to.
And Mr. Chair, I think you can look in the audience here. We have a lot of people here that really feel that these 2 organizations are doing a lot for veterans.
I agree.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, Representative Rudahl.
I'd just like to ask a quick question of Mr. Tisdall. Being a true Norwegian, you would know what doll means, don't you?
Mr. Chairman, committee member, I've got to admit no, but if my father were still alive, a World War II vet, he would answer that probably in Norwegian for you, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Representative Rudahl.
doll means valley.
Dally.
Valley.
Well, we don't want a dally. We want to move forward.
No. Excuse me. Valley. V-A-L-L-E-Y. Valley.
Service-connected hearing loss.
See, doll. That means
Erdal.
valley of stone, which explains why they moved.
We've had enough lessons in Norwegian now. I will again renew my message to have House File 232 be laid over for possible inclusion. Thank you very much for your testimony. Next, Representative Detmer has House File 647.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. I also have the A170144 amendment you should have. I'd like to pass that to get the bill in the form that it should be.
Maybe an amendment.
Does everybody have that amendment?
Yeah, the
Basically, what we're doing there on line,
114.
page 1, line 6, delete 950,000 and insert 650,000.
You in the right direction. And you want to describe your amendment? You just did.
I just
okay.
did, Mr. Chair.
Any questions about the amendment A170144? Seeing none, I will, all in favor of that amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Amendment carried. Now to your amended bill.
And Mr. Chair and committee members, I'll follow suit what I did in the last committee. I'll keep my comments short, but the House File 647, it's a bill that appropriates $650,000 from the state to help ensure that they can fully fund the project, the TPT project, public television, are working on about the Minnesota, Vietnam War. The project would be rolled out in conjunction with the new Ken Burns documentary series about the Vietnam War. So with that, Mr. Chair and committee members, I'll turn it over to our two testifiers.
Very well.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Trusinski, give your name for the record.
I'm Bill Straczynski with Libby Law Office, and I'm a lobbyist representing the Friends of Minnesota Public Television. Occasionally, legislation comes forward that hits you full square. House File 647 is such a bill, and I want to thank Representative Detmer for bringing this legislation forward, because those of us who were around in the 1960s and 1970s were forever affected by the state of events during that time. Please indulge me a bit of personal perspective as I set the stage for the testimony you're about to hear. The past is alive within us, and we were soldiers once and young. Issues surrounding the Vietnam War, both at home and abroad, affected the very fabric of our democracy and dramatically impacted veterans and citizens alike. Reconciliation is needed. In December 1966, I, like a lot of other people, received a very official-looking letter. The letter started out as follows: "Greetings from the President of the United States." Wow, I've just been drafted. Soon thereafter, olive drab was my new favorite color, and I learned several lessons about life. A few months later, I was in Vietnam. I hate snakes. Holy smokes, was that a cobra this Minnesota boy just killed with his machete? Does it ever stop raining? Why is it so hot? How many days left in country? Will I be brave? Will I make my mom and dad proud? Are we really patriots? Lord, don't let me fall asleep on watch. Why do firefights seem like organized chaos and lots of noise? Did someone yell medic? Where's my morphine kit? Where the hell's the dust off? Why are night ambush patrols full of terror and frequent mayhem? Remember to pull the pin before you throw. Why are they protesting? Why are they calling me baby killer? Why are they spitting at me and throwing tomatoes at my bus? These are just a few of the questions that were in my mind during my tour of duty in 1967 and 1968, and reflect my personal experiences when I returned home. Similar thoughts and experiences occurred to every soldier, Marine, airman, and of course, Mr. Chairman, every sailor that served our country during that period of time. This public television project, Minnesota Remembers Vietnam, will provide an opportunity for all Vietnam-era veterans and their families to tell our stories, secure our dignity, and forever preserve the public's respect for those who served. Here to tell you more about this important initiative is Katie Carpenter, who's the coordinator of this project for TPT.
Welcome to our committee. Give your name for the record.
Thank you. I'm Katie Carpenter with Twin Cities Public Television. And I'm very proud to be here today representing not only Twin Cities PBS as the project lead for this new project, Minnesota Remembers Vietnam, but also I'm here representing the MPTA, which is an association of the 6 public television stations who serve the state of Minnesota. And each one of those stations is independently owned and operated by the communities that they serve. In collaboration with these stations, we're hoping to engage the entire state of Minnesota to open doors to these stories and memories and recognize Minnesota's Vietnam veterans. In the fall of 2017, PBS will be broadcasting an epic 18-hour-long documentary series on Vietnam by filmmaker Ken Burns. This will capture the attention of the nation. It'll awaken memories, some good, but mostly painful and ambivalent for many who lived through that era. And it will also introduce a younger generation to the war and to an experience that veterans had that, in so many respects, is very different than the experiences of our veterans today. So we believe that we have a very unique opportunity with this film to do something very meaningful. It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime project to recognize, thank, and give voice to the over 100,000 Vietnam-era veterans living in Minnesota today. And it's also a unique opportunity to hear from others who experienced the war on a deeper level, like their families who were impacted by the Vietnam War. So what we are seeking is support for a major statewide year-long project that we feel will have a very lasting impact for our state. Totally cost out, we will invest close to $2 million for this project, and we're asking the state to make a commitment to fund about half of those costs. Once committed, we will commit the other half from our existing budgets and other private funds we are in the process of raising. But we feel that we need to move quickly in order to really have time to achieve our vision by the fall premiere date of the film. So our proposed year-long initiative, Minnesota Remembers Vietnam, has 5 major components. The first that we mentioned is the Ken Burns documentary that will air this fall. And while Ken will tell the national story, we're going to be producing a series of short videos around the documentary that capture the stories, memories, facts, and figures of Minnesotans and their role in the war, and bring that personal Minnesota narrative to the larger film. We expect this series of Ken Burns to be one of the most highly viewed of any show we have ever broadcast, and we're expecting it to be seen by hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Minnesotans this fall. The second component will be a documentary that will tell the story of the secret war in Laos. And this is actually a story that Ken Burns is not featuring in the film, and we have a large Hmong population here in Minnesota that we have a great relationship with, and this is an important story to tell in a 1-hour-long documentary that will also air in the fall with the Ken Burns film. And will underscore the reality that the secret war, unacknowledged by the CIA until 1994, was and is an integral part of the history of the Vietnam War, and also capture the stories of some of the elders who fought before it's too late to tell those stories. The third component will take the stories of a small group of Minnesota vets and craft their stories into a unique theatrical play. And this will be in collaboration with an extraordinary group of people from the Telling Project, which is a national performing arts nonprofit that employs theater to deepen understanding of veterans' experiences. So this documentary that we're producing is a behind-the-scenes look of the process and just what that means to the actors, their families, and those viewing this performance. The fourth component, and the one that has great potential to engage literally thousands across our state, is what we're calling a digital story wall. And this is a custom website that it can act as a memorial, but also a safe place to invite the sharing and exploration of personal memories through videos, portraits, narratives, snapshots, and interviews of Minnesotans who fought in the Vietnam War and those whose lives it changed at home. And our vision with this wall is to also engage community partners and schools and veterans organizations to collect stories throughout the whole state and our viewing area. And the final component of this project is to have a culminating event a little over a year from now here at the Capitol, where we'll dedicate a day to honor and recognize Minnesota veterans, Minnesota Vietnam veterans. We recognize this won't be easy. We know very well that most veterans have remained silent for years, choosing not to open wounds or relive a period of their lives that was painful. But we think the time is right to capture these stories, and it must be done now, as we're losing several hundred veterans, hundreds of veterans a day. The Ken Burns series is going to have America talking about the Vietnam War, and it will stimulate questions and awaken memories. And this project is about creating a safe place and a way here in Minnesota for those questions to be answered, those stories to be told before they're lost, and finally, to honor and thank Minnesota's Vietnam veterans for their service. So thank you so much for the opportunity today.
Thank you for your presentation. Any questions from the members? Seeing none, Representative Detmer, I would renew the motion to have House File 647 laid over for possible inclusion then,
As amended.
as amended. Is there anything you'd like to add before I finish my motion?
Just, no, finish your motion, Mr. Chair, then I'll have a closing remark.
Okay. I move that it be laid over for possible inclusion, as amended. We'd love to have your closing remark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. I think this is a good message that we're sending out to the community, not just our military community, but also statewide, for especially our schools that can be using this documentary and in their education, and really get the word out that what this Vietnam War was all about and how it affected maybe their grandfathers, or in some cases their fathers. So with that, I want to thank you for hearing this bill, and hopefully we can get this through and speak to the people of Minnesota through this project. Thank you. And if you see a lot of people leaving as I get up, I chair the Veterans Division, which is going on right now, so they'll probably be following me there. So thank you.
Very well, thank you. Next, we have Representative Brian Daniels. As you come up, the crowd will thin. I could oh my hands. We're going to try to get bills heard when we know people are traveling a long distance, trying to be courteous to those people, because we're going to be meeting tonight, and it's going to start after 6, and we're going to have supper, and I'm going to buy your pizza tonight.
That's very nice of you.
I'm a nice guy. Welcome to our committee. I will have House File 667 laid over for possible inclusion.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, committee members. Faribault's been working on, or Rice County's been working on this memorial for quite some time. It's about 90% done. The total cost of the, first of all, it's a Veterans Memorial for Rice County, and they started the project in, I believe, 2007.
Correct.
And did really well doing the fundraising, got a lot of active people in the community to donate to it. But in the last 2 years, there's been a couple of things added to our community that the resource has been going to, very good things. Ruth's House, a battered women's shelter, and then the senior center, which is going to be expanding. So bottom line is, we'd like to get about $60,000 to finish the project. It's about a $405,000 project. They've raised about $350,000 so far. And to keep it short, I'm going to turn it over to my testifier, Lloyd Grandpré, for more information on.
Welcome to our committee. Give your name for the record, please.
Lloyd Grandpré from Faribault, Minnesota, representing the Rice County's Veterans Memorial Expansion Project. I want to thank Representative Daniels for bringing this forward, and also the committee for allowing me to present this information today. Chairman Gunther and Vice Chair Lehman and the rest of you committee members. I must tell you right off the top that I'm the B squad. The A squad, our retired county sheriff, is sunning himself on the beach in Acapulco, and so he is not able to be here today. The gentleman on the ladder that you'll see on the handout, one of our stellars on our committee, is preparing for a conference in Washington D.C., and he leaves tomorrow morning. So they promoted me to make this presentation. I'm actually the co-chair, and I've been on the ground floor since the very, very beginning of this. I'm a past commander of the American Legion and proud 60-year member of that organization. I served, following my commandership, as the chairman of the Rice County Central Veterans Association, and they are charged with providing or organizing patriotic events, and also have an honor guard. And I serve as bugler on that. I've played taps over 400 times. I haven't matched what my father did in Steele and Rice and Waseca counties. He blew taps over, a World War I veteran, blew taps over 1,000 times. But at any rate, when I was president of the Rice County Central Veterans Association, I got a lot of pressure from a group of World War II veterans who are no longer with us. And I know they're looking down today and saying, go for it, Grand Prairie. They were on my back to get this started, and I kept saying, no, I'm not a local. I'm a Johnny-come-lately here, and I don't know the good old boys in the community, so I've got to have some help. Well, I did get some help, and we went ahead and planned this, got permission from the Rice County Commissioners to put this memorial between the existing Civil War monument and the beautiful courthouse that was built in the 1930s. That Civil War monument's over 100 years old, or is 100 years old, I should say. When I was president of that association, and we organized a parade for Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremony. Incidentally, the flag raising for those two ceremonies is always done on this site. I had some heavy hitters speak for me. Representative Detmer was my speaker for Veterans Day, which we held at the VFW. He's a Faribault native. And I got acquainted with him through the high school wrestling program. I was a high school wrestling coach for 25 years. But at any rate, then I also had U.S. Representative John Klein speak at our Memorial Day program at Central Park following a parade. So at any rate, there's a very active group of people, and our committee is essentially from that particular organization. We're asking for funding for $60,000 to complete this project. You can see a little outlay of the funds on the handout that I gave. And essentially, it's to provide for the black granite pieces that will go between the columns, and they will represent each of the branches of service. We're including the Coast Guard, of course, because they were such a big part of World War II, getting all the supplies and so on, both in the Pacific and European theaters. The center of this, the real message on patriotism, is right in the center of this project, and you have a beautiful picture of that bronze eagle. It's the only one that in existence. It was cast in Austin, Minnesota, Anderson Memorial, this third-generation company. It was actually made in lost wax process and by 7 pieces and welded together. But at any rate, that represents freedom, and the dove on the breast of the eagle represents peace. The columns that you see on that picture have significant meaning also. We start in a period of peace, and as we have conflict and turmoil and war, things get broken down. And then there's a period when we have an opportunity to reconstruct and bring it back up, and that's what the reason for those columns with the broken tops are. But we're anxious to get this completed. We know that there are many other requests to this. We've had a lot of competition over the years with fundraising for this. There doesn't seem to be any clearinghouse in the communities to make a priority of this or that. Everybody gets their oar in the water some way, and One year we were able to raise 87,000, another 83, but last year, you know, I'm the treasurer, $8,000 was all we were able to raise. And so we're running out of steam, and we would really appreciate the help that you might be able to provide. So I'm going to wind that up with that, and I want to thank you again for your consideration.
Any questions from the members? Representative Easton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I remember when we did one for the city of Richfield back 10 years ago now, but we did it in the bonding bill, and we either used it bonding funds or general fund. And I'm wondering why we're using, have we used legacy fund for these kind of memorials in the past? Is this a path we've started down?
I can speak to that. City of Edina was fortunate to grant some funds. I think it was quite a good size of money a few years ago for a like project.
Mary, you know? Mary Mullen? Mary Murphy?
Mr. Chair,
This is a typical thing we use these legacy funds for.
each project is looked at on its own basis, and the needs are weighed along, have been historically weighed along with what it will become in meaning to the community. And sometimes it's luck and sometimes it's not. And the same goes for those programs that, on the other bills that we've heard today and the rest of the bills that we're going to hear today. And so we've got to hear them and think about them. But we also should be asking more questions than we have so far today. But we understand that the agenda is very long. But we should be, the part that bothers me about this one right now is that a great deal of money was raised at the beginning. And then if last year was only $8,000 raised, then is there going to be money if the $60,000 was awarded and these posts get topped and the bronze and the granite tablets get placed, then what happens in the future to this completed memorial to keep it from deteriorating if we're only collecting $8,000 in the year that we're asking for $60,000?
That's a good question. However, I noticed this in front of the courthouse, so I'm sure they'll have something to do with that.
We have, can I speak? Thank you. We have an agreement with the Rice County Commissioners. Jake Gillen is our chairman, and his paver is on the back of that with the rest of his family. We have a good working relationship with the county commissioners and county administrator, who is new. And we have volunteers that shovel snow. We lay all those pavers ourselves with many countless hours of volunteer help, and our veterans organizations are going to maintain this. But we expect to raise, with if you can give us some help, we're going to raise some more money so that we can maintain that. That's our plan. And the American Legion VFW groups in Faribault are going to make sure that that site is maintained well and is going to be carried on. We've used some of the finest materials. The granite for the columns and so on is the same, came from the same quarry as the Civil War monument. The granite pavers are a very durable quality of granite. The black granite slabs that we're going to install are coming from northern Minnesota. We haven't used any foreign items in this particular memorial. We've tried to use the finest materials available. Now, we have had some minor problems with cracking of cement, but we have a plan to remedy that, and we want to move forward with that.
Representative Murphy.
Mr. Chair, sir, I thank you for that explanation and reason, but it still doesn't go what you just said. And I don't mean to be abrasive, and I just since you brought it up, when you started out, you started to say that you needed to come to us because there were competing interests in the community, and it seems like the other competing interests have won and you haven't.
Well, of late, that is true. Of late, we've had Paradise Center of Arts, we've had a soccer complex, we've had an athlete training facility at the high school that had $1 million outside donation. Our largest donation to date is $10,000. We've had some $5,000 donations. And our main fundraising, we've had raffles. We've raffled off a four-wheeler, a motorcycle. We've had breakfast. And to some extent, we've depleted our strength in those areas, and we now have a large senior center project going, and as Representative Daniels mentioned, a home for battered women and so on, and so we have a problem raising, but we have met recently, and we're formulating a plan to move forward. And we want to raise at least $12,000 in addition to what we've asked for here.
Okay. Representative Lilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just backtracking for a second to Representative Thiessen's question, and during the Phyllis Kahn years, there was, I mean, every chair kind of puts their little mark on the bills, and during that cycle there was one of her members bugged her into creating a grant program for these veterans parks. Now it's not as large of a number as this, but I think Edina was given one through that cycle, and there was about $60,000 to $80,000. I can't remember the exact number, but so we came up with a program, and then it was a grant program, and people applied for it. And you know, because the thought was there was a lot of these around the state, which there are, and to try to help them along. And my community received like a $10,000 grant. Granted, that doesn't get it done. I mean, they've got to go do a lot more other fundraising, but that was to start a program to kind of do that. And it was just one cycle that it was done. It was stopped. Sometimes it's, you know, good idea, but sometimes it's hard to get some of the bigger groups to let go of some of their interests in reality of what their thoughts were the money should go. I remember the first cycle we spent some money on libraries, and then that number kind of was backed off, I think, from the original thrust. And then, but certainly that they've been good stewards, but there was some pushback on that as well. But anyways, it's funny who I think actually I think these are great myself. I think it fits into legacy
When you think of
concept.
that word legacy, it does fit in.
And I think, you know, in my mind, the voters, I think, would be happy if we spent some money on these sort of things. So I'm happy to hear them myself, personally.
Any other questions from the members? Seeing none, Representative Daniels renews his motion to have, I renew my motion to have House Bill 667 be laid over for possible inclusion in our omnibus bill. Thank you very much for your testimony. Now we're going to go to some bills that the testifiers have to travel quite a ways to get there, and we're going to start out with Representative Baker's bill, and then go to Clark Johnson's bills, and then Erdahl's bills, and then finally mine. You're coming later. If any of the testifiers out in the audience have out-of-town testifiers, please let us know so we can get their bills heard also. Welcome to our committee, Representative Baker. And we will have House File 1634 laid over for possible inclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I bring you today an idea that was started 2 years ago in the Legacy Committee. We were able to fund a nice grant for the very first time to a group called Kajug. It is a very good organization that has been vetted nationally, and I've gotten to know Mohammed here, who has been the president and executive director for the last several years, couple years, and I've really learned to trust what they do and to really dive into the work that they've done the last couple of years. But it's been very limited because of the dollars that they were able to get for the very first time when Chair Erdahl was running the committee back then. So we come to you with kind of a version 2.0, if you would. This is about integrating our Somali community to our world, and it's all about education. It's all about understanding each other. And I'm just really proud to be here with Mohammed Farhad. So I'll, Mr. Chair, turn it over to Mohammed.
Open our committee, give your name for the record.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, my name is Mohammed Farah, and I'm here today representing the Coalition of Somali American Leaders. The Coalition of Somali American Leaders is a statewide coalition that leverages the collective influence of community and philanthropic leaders in order to increase awareness, understanding, and appreciation of the Somali community throughout Minnesota. This is the first coalition of its kind from the East African community. Coalition members serve about 19,000 individuals collectively throughout Minnesota, and there's about 11 organizations. Some of them are from the Twin Cities, some of them are from greater Minnesota, so we cover most of the state. We are seeking today a partnership with the state to increase intercultural understanding and build relationship through the Minnesota humanities between the Somali communities across the state and the general community, especially in greater Minnesota, such as places such as Wilmer, Rochester, St. Cloud, Mankato, and other areas. We also want to provide an outlet to folks to express themselves in a positive manner while providing opportunities to learn, teach, present, and present the traditional Somali cultural forms and demonstrating how they can be a valuable contemporary resource. Components of this program includes, but not limited to, community-wide play and interactive dialogue, workshops that includes spoken word, visual theater, storytelling, and mentoring. We also want to hold intercultural community events and presentations throughout Minnesota, and also provide opportunities for intercultural dialogue. Mr. Chair and members of the committee, we want to thank you for giving us an opportunity to speak with you today. We also want to say thank you and deeply appreciate the support that we have been getting from Representative Baker for his leadership and for championing this cause. And also, we also want to say thank you to the co-authors of the bill, including Representative Knobloch, Representative Hamilton, Representative Thiessen, Representative Lilly, Representative Daniels, Representative Tice, Representative Christensen, and Representative Slocum. I also want to introduce my colleague Haji Yusuf from United Cloud, all the way from coming from St. Cloud.
Welcome to our committee. Give your name for the record, please.
My name is Haji Yusuf, and I'm from St. Cloud, Minnesota, and I'm with an organization known as United Cloud. I'm here, first of all, I want to thank all of you for giving me the opportunity, giving us the opportunity to be able to join you here and explain to you why this is important. As you understand, there have been a lot of issues, cultural misunderstanding, language issue, right across our great state of Minnesota. And St. Cloud is one of the places that we are having this issue. Last year, with some of you sitting here, and including our representative from Wilma, Baker, we were able to get this money, and we held a couple of events, play, that is, a cultural understanding play, known as the Chronicles of the Diaspora. It played very well in Minneapolis. It had about 200 people from across cultural backgrounds that attended the play. Same thing happened in happened in St. Cloud as well, and we had people from Wilma, about 30 people in a bus, drove all the way from Wilma to St. Cloud State University, where the play was held, and we had people again from different backgrounds that attended and got to see the experience and the issues and the cultures of the Somalis in the state of Minnesota. The same thing happened in St. Paul, and it got translated as well in many other places. So this was well received. Not only that, Unite Cloud also is working very hard to bridge some of these cultural misunderstanding and tensions in communities in central Minnesota. And I believe this is mostly where some of this services, funding or cultural education can translate to be, maybe to make a joke, it would be much more easier if you can deal with groups that are well versed with each other and their neighbors, and they know each other. That way your elections are not as complicated, you know, every time when you want to get votes. So it's much more easier. As I was talking to Tom Emma about 2 weeks ago, we had a conversation. So some of the conversation we had is Tom Emma doesn't have to deal with some of the tensions if each and everybody knows each other, and every election it'll be much more easier. So we very much saw the impact and the results of this play, and we want your support to get this done, and hopefully we can educate each other and make our state much more greater. That is Minnesota. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions from the members? Representative Erdahl.
Thank you.
19 bills now, remember that.
What?
19 bills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for reminding me. Representative Baker and others, there's a question out there that I've been asked. I know it's out there, and I think it would be helpful to your cause a little bit if you could answer the question. Apparently, the federal government offered some money to Kajug, and it was turned down. Could you explain why that was turned down?
Yes, so the reason that we turned down the money is actually, the money came from the federal government, and the purpose of the money has changed to a point where we were not able to carry out the what we had proposed, and for that reason we decided to decline the funding because it would have changed our mission and the purpose of Kajug.
Mr. Chairman?
Representative Erdahl.
How would it have changed your mission?
Well, where the funding came from a particular department where they were tackling the issues, for example, the issues of extreme ideologies throughout the nation. And as you know, there's different extreme ideologies, not just within, the Islamic, but also white, various different things that's going on throughout the nation. And so the program has changed to only focus on Muslims. And so for that reason, we thought that it was not best for the program to change for that direction, and that we as a nation need to focus on all extreme ideologies. And so for that reason, we decided to decline that funding.
Representative Thiessen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have, maybe it's a technical question. So this is going to go to the Humanities Center for grants to one or more community organizations, but then it says the money has to be used for the FONCA program. So are these going to be grants, competitive grants, or is it going to be dedicated to Kajug?
Mr. Chair, Representative Thiessen, actually FONCA is another term for arts in Somali, so it's actually a competitive grant. It's not going towards any specific grants, and so it will be competitive, and various different entities will be able to apply for that funding through the Humanities Center.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything from the author?
Mr. Chair, again, I just maybe want to touch base really quickly with the comments Chair Erdahl had made too. And I'll share this with the committee, but I have a timeline of sort of what happened with the money that was actually given back federally, because it did change a lot of the overviews of what that program initially started to. And because I think the change of administrations in the federal side of things, that the whole program kind of changed. I guess I do give a lot of credit to the folks to say this isn't really right for us and we should return this money. It's the right thing to do. I guess I applaud them for that. And we have worked through this, but I will share that, Mr. Chair, with your committee administrator to make sure they get the timeline of what I was given as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, I will renew my motion to have House File 1634 to be laid over for possible inclusion in our omnibus bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next, we have
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members.
Thank you.
Representative Johnson. Remember, we give points for brevity. Clark, did you hear that?
I'm sorry.
We give points for brevity.
Points for
Brevity.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. We will do our best.
You have 3 bills in a row.
What you have before you is House File 970, which would provide funding to construct or reconstruct the pavilion in Minnesota Square Park. I think you're going to learn that there's a very great historical and cultural significance to the park and to the pavilion. And I'm joined today by Mayor Chuck Zeman of St. Peter, Councilman Steve Grams from St. Peter, and the City Administrator Todd Prafke.
Welcome to our committee, Mr. Prafke.
Mr. Chair, thank you for having us.
I visit him once in a while.
We appreciate those visits. Chair and members, what we're asking for is about 1/2 of the total commitment that the city is putting forward towards rebuilding of the Minnesota Square Park Pavilion. Some of you may know or have driven by on 169 through the heart of St. Peter and seen that pavilion off to the west side of the street. So many of you have seen that. That pavilion is built at the location that, as many of you may recall, was supposed to be the state capitol. And so it holds very dearly to us and the kind of use that it receives. It's built on top of a 1930s band shell that was placed there when the Capitol wasn't brought to St. Peter. It serves as an iconic venue for arts in our region. Rockman Folk Festival, which hosts over 20,000 people over the 2 days of the Folk Festival, Blues Fest, livestock. There are just a number of different regional events that occur at this venue that are housed, and I think an important thing to mention is that all of those activities, those arts activities, are free to the public, which has been very important not only in our region, but for the advancements of arts throughout the state of Minnesota. The structure is facing some substantial structural challenges. It's been maintained well, but as some of you may recall, the 1998 tornado, it suffered through a tornado and a number of other challenges that it's had. And I think maybe just as importantly, it's not handicap accessible. And so our goal is to rebuild the structure using some resources, hopefully from the state of Minnesota. It's certainly resources from the locality, the city of St. Peter, to rebuild it.
Very well. Mayor, welcome to our committee.
Chuck Zeman, Mayor of St. Peter. Listening to the other presentations and requests, the word legacy kept coming up, and of any of them I've heard so far, I think the St. Peter request is probably closest to that legacy because of the history of it. And I hope that is a consideration when you look at this. I see Mr. Erdahl is not here, but if it helps, at the end of my name you can put Dahl on it. It doesn't make any difference. And if that would help the cause at all, we would be willing to do that.
Any questions? Oh, I'd love to have you testify, sir.
My name is Steve Grimes, and I'm in the City Council of St. Peter. I was on the initial commission to look at the restructuring of our pavilion, and I got on the commission and I asked, I was not on the council at the time, because one of the major issues that I'm concerned about with the pavilion is it's not accessible with people with mobility issues and or the seniors. For a senior individual with a mobility impairment, they're not able to traverse the steps to get to the upper level. So this last year, we did have a performer in the Rock Bend Folk Festival that was in a chair, and she had to be lifted up the steps to perform. And well, luckily for her, she didn't fall. And I know what it's like. I've fallen down many steps over the course of my years in a chair. So from my perspective, I hope that the committee is willing to at least fund half of what we're asking for, and the city will make the other commitment to fund it. So I just appreciate your time.
Thank you for your testimony. Is this where they have the flags in front of, all the way down there?
Chair, yes, sir, it is, where the
Very
50
beautiful-
flags are
very beautiful
located.
area.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions from the members? Representative Murphy.
Mr. Chair, Representative Clark, is this bill in the form of a bonding request too?
We, Mr.
Representative
Chair,
Clark.
yes, I believe we have submitted a bill for the bonding request as well. We did that last session. The bill was not heard, as I recall. And so we thought we would take a two-track approach and seeing which is most appropriate. The speakers implied that there may not be a bonding bill this year, and so we're proceeding through the Legacy Committee. Again, this holds significant historical and cultural significance, and so we think it's very appropriate to be heard in this committee.
Any other questions? See? Representative Lilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and it's an interesting project. Just for trivia's sake, former Senator Ted Lilly used to own that property on the corner of the southeast corner to the park, which is the home, and I believe it was to be the governor's the state capitol or something right there on the corner. So I spent a lot of time in there painting because it was rented out to a bunch of Gusties, and had to be painted quite often on that corner. But I've always wondered why St. Peter doesn't pursue the famous Gustavus Barn. That's, to me, and recreating that from, many of you probably don't know, but if you've been around St. Peter for a while, I would imagine you do, the barn that was there in the 70s. And to me, I believe that's quite historic and should have been a point of historical interest in St. Peter, but I haven't seen it on your point of, on your tour points.
Probably better off not pursuing that avenue of questioning.
I think it would be accurate to say that the venue that we're proposing resources for is used by a much broader audience than their barn was.
Well, I will renew my motion to have House File 970 be laid over for possible inclusion in our omnibus bill. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Chair and members.
Mr. Johnson, that was...
Well, just as concluding comments, I get a kick out of the comment about the broad section of people who use this park. Minnesota Square Park, if you think in terms of a public space, you can't overstate how much a public space that Minnesota Square Park is, that it, in a very traditional sense, and possibly most clearly on the 4th of July.
I agree. Welcome to our committee. I will move House File 1191 for possible inclusion in our omnibus bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the opportunity to present yet another just important, iconic institution in our community, in our region, the Southern Minnesota, the Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota. This request is seeking $400,000 to increase access and engagement for diverse audiences at the Children's Museum. I'm joined today by Deb Johnson and Sue Larson, and they will give you a good picture and overview of the Children's Museum.
Welcome to our committee. Give your name for the record, please.
Thank you. I'm Deb Johnson, the Director of Education. And I am Sue Larson, Community Outreach and Impact Director. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. We want to offer sincere thanks for your support in the past. The Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund has been a critical part of our success, allowing us to serve families and children from birth to 10 years of age. We were incorporated in 2006 by early childhood professionals. We've been thoughtful and deliberate in our development. It's taken us 10 years, but we have been at 3 interim sites, learning and evaluating at every turn by prototyping exhibits, piloting programs, all the while raising capital support, connecting with people, collecting data, partnering with businesses in our region. Please refer to this handout. It's the yellow one on the top. On the back, you'll see a map, and that shares our visitor access data. So we have been expecting in our first year to serve 40,000 people. We were quite surprised. 100,000 visitors showed up. And you can see on that map the region from which we're drawing visitors, all across southern Minnesota. Our success, as you see, is broadly owned. As you look in the bottom, where it says by a community for a community, it shares those that are representing us, supporting us, and helping us engage and provide a really strong visitor experience, play experience for children and families. So 21 months ago, we opened our permanent site. We're toddling. We feel as though we are toddlers. We're learning, we're engaging, we're becoming financially sustainable. I invite you to watch this 90-second video to see the incredible regional resource we have developed.
Remember it well.
Thank you. We're seeking $400,000 in this bill with 4 initiatives. I invite my colleague to share a little bit more about that. Thank you. Specifically, we propose to use this support to increase access for school and early learning groups at the museum. Please refer to the document that is entitled Engaging Young Learners. You will notice that in 2016, 151 school and early learning groups made the Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota a popular field trip destination. These groups represented 18 Minnesota counties, and some of those locations are indicated on the heat map on this document. Based upon Kids Count data, children receiving free and reduced lunch range from 17 to 57% of our school group visitors, and nearly half of these visitors came from counties where 40% or more of the student population receives free or reduced lunch. So clearly, there are high needs. So what does arts and cultural heritage learning look like at our museum? You saw the video. We also brought with us a sampling of the beautiful fruits and vegetables and a chicken from our Grow It Gallery that are lovingly made by volunteers at our museum. Thank you. Yes. So those will be coming around. Thank you very much. Also, I want to call your attention to this Explorer's Guide. It's an educational tool that we developed to call attention to several of the arts and cultural heritage features at our museum. From the greetings spoken in Dakota by children that welcome all of our visitors as they enter our doors, to the Tree of Forts climber designed and built by Minnesota artists and craftsmen and women, to the myriad of public art pieces in our building, the Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota offers immersive experiences in Minnesota arts and cultural heritage. In addition, we propose to use this support to grow as a regional resource. While families continue to come and school groups to the museum, the need exists to bring more children, families, and school groups, or bring the museum to these groups outside of the museum walls. Museum a la carte is a concept that we're piloting right now with our current Minnesota Legacy appropriation. By creating a menu of learning opportunities, new audiences from across our state would have several options to choose from. For example, STEM kits could be facilitated with a first grade classroom located in a rural outstate Minnesota community. Exhibit components of our ag education could go to a county fair. Tabletop teepee building kits could be shared during a community's cultural event, or creative drama experiences could be provided for daycare centers, preschools, or even as a pop-up program at a trailer park. Getting out to rural communities and engaging with people in their neighborhoods, communities, and schools would serve to greatly increase arts and cultural heritage access and engagement of new and diverse audiences.
In our third initiative, we would use the support to improve our current exhibits. Exhibit development and remediation is ongoing at our newly opened site that's about 90% built. As a smart and intentional yet toddling museum, we're still improving those exhibits, and we're trying to use visitor feedback and observations by our play workers to do so. We aspire to go deeper with the value we provide. In the next House File 1193, you'll hear more about our final exhibit, Mini-Wachoni, that we help to develop and install in the museum next year.
So finally, we'll use this support to improve efforts related to evaluation. I'd like to refer your attention to a letter written by the Minnesota Humanities Center on our behalf. They refer to the Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota as an exemplary grantee and as an organization doing deeply impactful work, incorporating robust evaluation strategies. As noted, our museum provides immersive experiences in Minnesota arts and cultural heritage for all of our visitors. We'd like to expand on the work we've begun with an evaluation consultant to explore and document what does arts and cultural heritage learning look like for a 3-year-old in our Grow It Gallery, or a 5-year-old in our quarry, or for a 25-year-old parent or a 65-year-old grandparent. A commitment from the Legacy Committee helps us leverage important private support, which we continue to seek and receive. We appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation with you today and your partnership on House File 1191. We are very happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Representative Thiessen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So on that last piece on the evaluation, so you're looking at it, how to engage about arts and culture based on different age groups. Do you also break that down based on, socioeconomic status or ethnic background? I mean, is that part of the evaluation as well?
Yeah, great question, Representative Thiessen, Chair Gunther. We have been engaging with Gustavus Adolphus students and professors around the evaluation piece since our inception. So Professor Kyle Chambers has been working with us since our first interim site and looking primarily at what makes an engaging play experience, what does it mean to do arts and cultural heritage learning. With some recent Bush funds that we've received, we've looked at specifically with at-risk families, birth to 3 and their parents, what does learning look like for that population? We haven't yet had enough support to really dig into that piece as fully as we'd like, but it is an important question, and I think it helps us be really smart and intentional about the types of programs that we offer, especially as we look at our Museum a la carte program and we go out into neighboring communities. We think about, does it make sense to go to Salvation Army lunch program or go out to a trailer park and drop in? What does that programming look like? So I think those questions are very important to explore. We're just on the cusp of asking that. Thank you for the question.
Any other questions? I have one. What specific you're going to use this $400,000 for? This is the biggest amount you've asked for. Is this for operating capital, or what is exactly is?
Yeah, so there's 4 areas, Representative. There's 4 areas that we want to provide the funding to give us some support. Is the first one, as Sue mentioned, is to increase access to school group and early learning. The second is to grow as a regional resource with our museum a la carte program, so we're going out into the neighborhood communities. The third is to improve the current exhibits. And the fourth is to look at the evaluation piece. So to do what we're doing, but do a little bit better, a little deeper, and a little bit more. With the 40,000 visitors that we expected, we were well poised to really manage that. But with 100,000, the needs are greater than we expected, and we would love to have some additional support to really serve that need.
Seeing no other questions, I'll renew my motion to have House File 1191 laid over for possible inclusion. You want to say something about that?
Yeah, I just want to summarize. I think you saw the professional approach that this group has taken. This is very much a citizens group. This is about 10 years in the making. It involves a lot of people that, if you saw in the film, you saw a lot of names of companies in our region who are involved there. There's an agricultural focus to it. But they talked about the menu of opportunities, and really it's about involving all the children. And I hope you see the museum has really created a center so where efforts are made to make sure all children have these sorts of deep, rich learning opportunities. And I'm very proud to be associated with the Children's Museum for that.
Very well. Next, we have another one for the Children's Museum.
Yep.
House File 1193, I will lay that over for possible inclusion in our omnibus bill.
Just to quickly introduce House File 1193, this is to support the building of a water exhibit that would connect children with Minnesota's Dakota history and cultural heritage.
Very well.
Thank you, Chairman Gunther and representatives of the Legacy Committee. Again, knowing that brevity is going to get us more funding today, I will be brief. But to refer you to a packet that you've been given with the Minnie Wachone exhibit. From our inception, we've been intentional about developing a thread of Dakota culture and heritage through our museum. Visitors are welcomed at our entrance by 3 Dakota children in their native language. We have a Dakota woman prominently painted in our Grow It Gallery mural where she's hand-pollinating squash seeds. In our outdoor space, we have a Three Sisters garden where we plant heirloom seeds from Dreams of Wild Health, an organization that shared with us genetically pure seeds passed on to them from a Dakota elder. Back indoors, we have a storytelling display and have a buffalo hide displaying a winter count, which is the history of the Dakota people from 1800 to 1872. It's painted with traditional techniques by Fern Cloud, a Dakota woman. The use and history of the buffalo exhibit is there, so children can learn how a buffalo bladder could carry water and the tail be used as a fly swatter. We have a textile art piece displayed in our lobby by Gwen Westerman, a Dakota woman. And finally, in our whiz-bang area, we have a tabletop teepee building kit developed in partnership with MNHS. To date, these projects have been supported by private donors, MHS grants, legacy funds, and Minnesota Star Arts Board grants. We had the foresight when we were remodeling our building from a mass transit building to a children's museum to install floor drains and a below-grade mechanical room to house a sump pump, dedicated water purification system, and sewer lines in anticipation of this future water play exhibit. Important things that we have installed in our museum, more important than the things we have installed in our museum, are the relationships we have built with our Dakota consultants. In our most recent MHS grant, we hosted several listening sessions with our Dakota advisors. This led to a conceptual design, which you see in your handouts, for our water play table based on Dakota values around water. Again, I stop there with the interest of brevity and respect for your time, and I would be glad for your questions.
Any questions from the members? Seeing none? Would you like to have any comments on?
Well, thank you,
Give
Mr.
you
Chair, and I'd
last
just like
word.
to put this in context. I'm proud of Mankato for a lot of reasons, but maybe most proud of the efforts that the city has made over more than a generation now to reconcile our history, which involved the hanging of Native people in 1862. And you see it in many facets in our community, including at the Children's Museum. And the efforts that this group works with the Dakota people to make sure that we appropriately address that challenge and with respect and dignity is part of that. And so this water exhibit is important to that. And the museum has struggled in securing the funding for this. And finally, I just want to, basically, after you've heard about the Children's Museum, want to make sure you all consider bringing your kids and your grandkids down to Mankato for a fun afternoon, and they'll enjoy it, and hang out in downtown Mankato. I think you'll enjoy the afternoon as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will renew my motion to have House File 1193 laid over for possible conclusion. Thank you for your brevity, by the way.
Thank you.
Next, we have House File 570, Representative Erdahl.
Okay.
Welcome to your committee, Representative Erdahl.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we'll also attempt to be very brief. And, you know, I don't know that a member in the middle of his 8th term has ever provided cookies for a committee meeting, but we're doing that right now.
It's just because of the fact that this is your 7th bill.
Well, I was saving up. All right, thank you. We have here is a new children's museum, the Wheel and Cog Children's Museum out of Hutchinson. And in my district, you got to go across the street to get to Representative Gruenhagen's district. And there are, I believe now, 6 children's museums in Minnesota. The other 5 have at one time or another all received some type of funding from this committee. And if you look at the fiscal analysis of this particular children's museum, it's nothing. And that's because it just started. So we would appreciate some funding to help this new children's museum in a part of the state where we don't have such get underway. And so with that...
You want to move your bill?
One more?
You want to move your bill?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would move House File 570 for likely, or all right, possible inclusion in the omnibus bill.
Very well, now we got that done.
And I do have a testifier here and a quick PowerPoint which you would run through.
I think we're moving things over this direction here. Representative Erdahl. So would you like to introduce your testifier?
My name is Jessica Sabrowski.
Okay, thank you. Please proceed with your
I
testimony.
would, but I don't say Sabrowski very well.
Sabrowski.
Sabrowski.
Okay. Would you like to proceed with your testimony?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right, so as Representative Erdahl had introduced, we're a new children's museum. The name is Wheel and Cog Children's Museum of Hutchinson.
Okay.
Our goals are similar to those of the other children's museums, of course, to engage and identify, enrich the community, enrich the lives of the community that we're in. Hutchinson is a great manufacturing city in the state of Minnesota, and that is what we're known for. What we're trying to do is enrich the lives of those that live in Hutchinson and attract more sustainable lifestyle for those that are already in the community. We have great opportunities for education. We have great opportunities for athletics. We're growing our school district this year. There is a large upgrade going on to the high school right now. And I grew up in the state of Minnesota, but have been traveled all over the country, internationally as well, and know that it's important for children to have the opportunity to play. And so as we relocated back to the area, very much felt that it was a need for the community to create an organization that was involving children specifically. The name, of course, came to me at one point in the middle of the night. How do we engage the community? How do we engage children? And how do we engage growth and development? My background is nurse practitioner, and so knowing about what health and wellness is, I know that there's a lot of organizations focused on promoting health and wellness and how to engage the community. And I think that Wheel and Cog exhibits that really well right now. We incorporate a number of small exhibits. Were located in the Hutchinson Mall with our pilot location, and got started much like the Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota 10 years ago. And so they've been instrumental in helping us get our feet on the ground, become educated on what it means to be part of a community and providing education to those involved. Our goal, of course, is to inspire and educate the public through play. Within a 70-mile radius, we've discovered that there is no indoor safe places for children, and so Hutchinson, we thought, was a perfect location for this. Some of the disturbing facts revolving around health and wellness, specifically in the United States, is that a third of the children are either overweight or obese, and we know this. We've been targeting these types of educational opportunities. We partnered with our local healthcare agency, Hutchinson Health, and we've been working on ways that we can incorporate education along with and through play experiences. And so one of the opportunities that we had was last weekend we offered we had a pediatric occupational therapist come in, and she helped and demonstrated to individuals on how to manipulate their children so that they didn't develop torticollis as an infant. And I think that that's an instrumental way that we can impact our community. The organization, like others, is also open to all those in the community. If we identify individuals without funds, we are offering for those individuals to enter the museum and play all day if they wish, free. Jumping back to the need, Hutchinson is a manufacturing community, and we identified that there is about a 34% of the individuals that in the community are actually educated, and 34% of the high school graduates actually stay in Hutchinson and acquire a manufacturing type job. It's the families that we are focusing on that are the need, and we want to focus on ways to engage and make the experience living in Hutchinson much better. And so again, just kind of tying in the school district, we would like to tie into opportunities like bringing classrooms. Hutchinson West Elementary came over, and we've had over 1,200 visitors this last month alone with field trips. We were able to cut down the travel time that those kindergartners had to go to. Instead of going down to the Minnesota Zoo, they were able to stay locally, and they were able to play for over 2 hours. The teachers were floored to have the children go back to the classroom and be able to focus because they actually had time to play. They didn't spend over an hour on a bus. And to me, that meant a lot to hear that. Again, it's an opportunity to connect with the community. We hope to promote health and wellness. Again, there's school districts, child care centers, a lot of outreach in the community and they're lacking opportunities for these types of things. We have daycares that come out. These are the identified benefits of play. If you've all engaged in play with loved ones, you know, it makes memories. The passion of play, I share a little bit about myself being from a socioeconomically challenged background, and know that it's important for all individuals to be able to access play, and that it does make memories. It promotes change, and it's a language that all can speak to. You don't have to have an education to be able to play. demographics in our area, we have about 30% that are on free and reduced lunches. And so with that being said, obviously there's some socioeconomic disadvantaged individuals in our community, and we hope to be able to deliver some support for those through scholarship or daily play. We'd also like to identify some of the other avenues that we can offer community support for those organizations. So we're hoping we can do it. We've been open since last July. And the road has been rocky to start out with, but it's been a passion, and it's been very exciting to watch the change. The community has been able to sustain us through local seed monies that we were awarded last year, and we're hoping to continue to get grants and support through 3M. We do have the largest manufacturing plant that 3M has in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and so we've been utilizing that along with all the other manufacturing as well as the hospital in town so far to sustain. But through that membership, we're hoping this year to receive some legacy funding support so that we can continue to develop and grow as well. We're currently located in the Hutchinson Mall, as I said. It's a small 3,600 square foot space. We are hoping to possibly in this next 1 to 3 years grow into a larger facility and of course have more robust experiences for those who visit. Some examples of exhibits we're looking at. We have a hand washing station, which we think is very important in limiting germs. It's much like a vaccine. We can get rid of anything through hand hygiene. This is actually a picture from the Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota, and we very much value the guidance that they've offered to us. We like to look at things like a healthy family exhibit. We include things such as stationary bikes in our exhibits. We've actually got a generator connected to this exhibit so that we can utilize it in a variety of ways so that we can generate power to raise a flag. We can change it and we can have it turn on a light bulb. Different ways, and it makes children raise questions to their parents that they may not otherwise raise or propose. So we're trying to include some of the learning experiences. And our target is all the way up to age 12 because it's up to age 12 that we're really seeing those individuals aren't already targeted in sports or athletics and typically are a sibling to a younger person who's visiting the museum. So right now we've got a tapescape in there, and if anybody has seen what a tapescape is, it's basically a large tape tunnel built out of tape, and the children can climb and play. And that again was through support of the Children's Museum of Southern Minnesota. We were able to utilize an exhibit that they had and took it to our location, and so that was very instrumental in us having our doors open, and our community very much enjoys that. So again, filling a gap. We already have a free little library on our site. We share the books with individuals. They do not have to be guests at the museum. They can come and grab those. We also have our field trip destination, and again, we're one of the 6th children's museum in Minnesota. You guys know the reasons that children's museums are important, but we are a unique capacity to allow for individuals within our communities to gather, young moms. It could be a gathering place for grandparents to take their children and just an outing to go to. We also like to focus on culture and heritage and actually have plans to offer an opportunity for Language Day where we'll have 6 stations where individuals are able to read stories in their own native language and have native dress, and hope to provide that experience for our state's youngest residents. Stats and sustainability. So to recap, there's no offerings within a 70-mile radius. We're hoping to bring a unique experience to the Hutchinson area and to create a valued living lifestyle for those that are living in the area. With that, does anybody have any questions?
Thank you for your well-organized testimony. Just wondering if there are any other testifiers in the audience that would like to speak to this project? Nope. Question from Representative Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Zabrowski, tell us what we're going to buy with our $80,000?
What we're looking to do this next year is to possibly, what we're trying to do is to create more exhibits. Currently, everything that we've got in the museum space has been donated and built by myself and my spouse. And so it's been a long road. So we would like to build out the exhibit spaces to make the experience for individuals, I guess, engage in the community more in the exhibit spaces. We're looking to offer build out outreach to the community. So we're also going to focus on being able to deliver the socioeconomically disadvantaged individuals and also allow field trips. We currently allow field trips to come at a discounted rate. So it's $3 per child to visit. And if they have a family membership, they do not pay at all.
Okay, and how many family memberships do you have now?
We currently have sold over 100 family memberships, and we've had over 5,000 guests since last July. And 1,250 of those have been within the last month.
Representative Murphy, any other follow-up?
Well, I feel more comfortable now. But Representative Erdahl, Madam Chair, Representative Erdahl, why did you choose the Commissioner of Administration for this grant rather than the Humanities Center?
Why legacy funding?
I don't know. Why did I choose that?
It seems.
Does someone have any idea why I chose that?
Does somebody have an idea of why that was chosen?
Chair and members, one of the places that we have put grants like this before is through the Department of Administration, but the Humanities Center has also done the Children's Museum grants in different years, so either of those would be a good choice as a fiscal agent for this.
I would certainly, Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
be
Erdahl.
open to the Humanities Center if that was the choice of the committee.
I don't know.
Representative Murphy.
Madam Chair, Representative Erdahl, I don't know, except that I've heard that the
Well-
Children's Museums are really happy with the help that they've been given by the Humanities Center, and then I thought maybe you had a secret
I have many
of
secrets.
the administration.
Mr. Chairman, if the others, and I didn't check this, but if the others are going through the Humanities Center, it would make sense that this one also would be part of that. I think all of the other 5 all have requests. And does anyone know, has anyone looked, are they all at the Humanities Center?
The the Mankato one was administration this time, it looked like.
Representative Thiessen, we're losing control here. Everyone's. I think we'll need to help you with that. I do know from first-hand experience that the Humanities Center does provide some good oversight for other requests. So it might be worthwhile looking into that. as
We
well.
can, Mr. Chairman, we can work on that.
Okay.
Ms. Chairman, I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the interest of time, does anyone else have a question for this testifier? Okay, seeing no other questions, I would like to
I can
renew your motion.
That this House File 57 be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill.
Okay, so done.
Thank you. I'm just, as I'm leaving, just like to comment that the Hutchinson area lost a very well-known person over the weekend, the great polka band impresario Wally Pickle. Wally, I think he was 90 years old, still performing, known for his performance on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, where he jumped on a pogo stick while playing 3 trumpets at the same time.
Thank you for that, Representative Erdahl. Okay, next up.
I'll work on it.
Thank you. So, okay, next up is Chair Gunther, and we're looking at House File 1432.
Madam Chairman, I would move House File 1432 be laid over for possible inclusion in our omnibus bill.
Okay, thank you. Representative Gunther, do you have any opening comments?
I'd just like to give a little quick overview. The Green Giant Museum has been something that they've been working on for a long time. It's moved several places, and it was just kicked out of its last place by the county, it's a county attorney moved in there. And they're asking for $300,000. They have made a like amount already so they can have this facility. And with that, I would like to turn this over to Cindy Lyon.
Okay, welcome. Would you please state your name for the record?
Correct. Thank you, Madam Chair and officials. My name is Cindy Lyon. I'm the Executive Director of the Blue Earth Area Chamber of Commerce and Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I'm here representing our citizens of the Blue Earth area in their quest to expand the growing Green Giant Museum. The Green Giant Memorabilia Museum opened in 2009. Lowell Steen has collected Green Giant memorabilia for over 40 years. Some items were only available to the employees of Green Giant Canning Company, and some were purchased by proof of purchase labels around the world. Mr. Steen was an employee of our Green Giant Canning Company in Blue Earth for 35 years and shares his giant collection of memorabilia displayed in our museum. Green Giant employees from all over the United States have donated even more items by dropping them off or shipping additional memorabilia, anywhere from matchbooks or fancy cigarette lighters to framed and matted Green Giant puzzles, t-shirts, toys, and more. Our visitors are amazed at our collection. We have also a mock-up of the canning factory with true canning equipment. Visitors watch a video of the Green Giant veggie historic commercials, which we hear them singing along in the Valley of the Jolly Ho 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 Green Giant, which you all, I'm sure, are aware of.
I think you get extra credit for that song.
Oh, thank you. It also shows the harvesting of the peas and the corn in the Blue Earth area, and they are amazed. Some, our guests are non-ag city people, and they're amazed by the canning factory processing. There's a part in one of the videos where it shows they're harvesting peas in 3 feet of deep water, and they ask if the peas have to be flooded so they can be harvested like rice. The Blue Earth Canning Factory was started in Blue Earth in 1926. The Minnesota Valley Canning Company purchased the plant later. Then the Green Giant Canning Company purchased and ran the factory, which is now owned by Seneca and is still canning and labeling Green Giant vegetables grown in our area 24/7, harvesting starting in early June with early June peas and sweet corn about mid-July through September. Some of you were guests in Blue Earth at the Kibble John Deere site in the Golden Spike Industrial Park. We gifted you welcome bags, and that included some of that very sweet corn and peas, right, grown in our beautiful Blue Earth, Minnesota. We've worked closely with each canning company that's held the old ownership of the Green Giant label, Pillsbury, and now the new owner, B&G. Have you seen the new ad campaigns? The Giant Awakens. He travels all over the United States, seeing sights all around our country in a giant way, making friends with new generations and new followers and new consumers of Green Giant vegetables. Our giant, we have a 60-foot Green Giant statue, some of you may have seen already, in Green Giant Park. He's an international icon and has been for years. He's featured in many travel articles, which were featured in the beginning this last year in the National Lampoon Summer Vacation movie. He was a part of Pacer's huge anti-bullying campaign, filled at our park, dressed in a giant orange toga, and the motto was "Raise the Giant and Prevent Bullying." We've been interviewed about the giant and features by the Wall Street Journal in a variety of TV stations and many news blasts. The most recent, the day after the Super Bowl, Monday, Minnesota U.S. Bank Stadiums did a pass the ball, featuring historic sights and a person passing the football. One of our quarterbacks from our Blue Earth Area High School is seen passing the ball. Exciting for us. It was posted in the morning, and by noon it had over 350,000 hits and shares that day. Exciting for us to see our giant in that way. We had an opportunity to build in the park about 3 years ago, but due to major electrical issues, this did not pan out. But at the layout meeting in the park, several of the dignitaries that were there to see said, why would you build a new building in front of, why you have this eyesore in front of the giant, why would you build a new building here? And so our quest began. So the fall of 2015, we made an offer on a blighted gas station that sat in front of the giant park. We had a few contingencies that we had to deal with as far as pollution due to the fact that it was a gas station in the past. And so through the process of ground sampling study and vapor studying, we received the blessing from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. We closed on April 1st, 2016, and had several decisions to make, which one was to demolish the gas station and the canopy due to the mold issues and the water standing in the property. The lot is now blank. We demolished the building in the fall, and the lot is surrounded by an orange snow fence, keeping out trespassers and protecting the lot until we are able to build the Giant Welcome Center featuring the Green Giant Memorabilia Museum. This is a great site to share history of agriculture in southern Minnesota by featuring the canning factory history and many of our historic pieces about Blue Earth and the area. In our giant museum, we also have the canning factory set up and with an outside cutter, the canning line, the lid processing, cooking process, and the lab set up where you could sample, where they took samples hourly at the factory. There's also a labeling machine. Tourists from all over the world come to see our 60-foot green giant, who will be 38 years old in July. In the Giant Park, we man a red barn that is a seasonal tourist information center located right off of Interstate 90 and the highways 169 and 16. We host a Giant Days Festival roundabout Blue Earth the second weekend in July with fun and games for kids and of all ages at the Giant and at many sites in our community. From just Memorial Day to Labor Day in the season of 2016, these were the countries that were represented as guests out at the Green Giant: Holland, Belgium, France, Norway, Israel, Finland, Singapore, Mexico, Spain, Honduras, Germany, Australia, Taiwan, Denmark, New Zealand, Sweden, South Africa, England, Scotland, and Russia, and many provinces in Canada. By July 4th, every state in the United States was represented, and we had over 4,000 guests sign our guest book. Not everyone comes in, and not everyone signs the book. The plan is to be green in the Green Giant Museum with LED lighting, infrared heat, automated lights in the museum, restrooms, and more. Outside, we'll be routing our stormwater to a retention pond of sorts, depending on the tiling of the property. We have had discussions with our light and water and other entities of our community who we have our support. They have been contributors to our fundraising. The Green Giant Park is the hub of a walkway trail where you can rent a bike and do many things in our area. To date, we are at $1,602,102.88 from our contributors. We have pledges for $34,000 more, for a total of just shy of $200,000. So with that, we are here asking if you can consider funding us for the amount of $300,000.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lyons. Do others at the podium wish to testify?
Certainly, very briefly. Tim Amish, the City Administrator, City of Blue Earth, just speaking on behalf of this project, and I know you've got other things to do and been sitting for a long time, but we're very committed to the project. We feel that it brings a lot of value to rural South Central Minnesota, being a legacy of agriculture in our area. We also feel that it's a very tangible project that shows real results with the, what your money would be going for would be a building, the bricks and mortar, which is something that has a lot of value to us, and it's something that we feel is very easy to deliver. So we appreciate the support that the Legacy Committee could have for us.
Thank you. Other testifiers? No. Questions from the committee? Any questions from the committee? We're all looking at the clock. Representative Lilly.
Madam Chair, and Representative Erdahl asked me a to ask a question, and please don't hold it against me, Mr. Chair, but he's the chair of capital investment, so I feel I should ask it, just in, for my sake, I guess. But he asked if Ms. Lyons or the city manager, if he'd be open to a statue called Little Sprout, and for Chair Gunther next to it or something.
Representative Gunther.
A spinoff?
Right.
I certainly will, but we're going to take care of one thing at a time. That might be for another day. But this is a home of where I-90 met from east to west, right by this where the Green Giant statue is. So it's Golden Spike is we're going to name a industrial park after that. So it's kind of all fits in one place. And I'm reminded every year that I have to be in that parade, one of 13 parades. So with that, I will renew my motion to have House File 1432 be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill.
Okay.
And I'd like to remind everybody that we are going to have pizza. We hope to start at 6, Kelly? So we're going to have pizza right after we start? Yeah. Recess to have pizza.
Okay.
And I got special one just coming.
So with that, House File 1432 is laid over for possible inclusion in the Legacy Omnibus Bill. And any other news, information needs to be shared? If not, the meeting is adjourned, or we're in recess, excuse me, until the call of the chair or 6 p.m. in this room, room 10.
Thank you.